Hey guys, welcome back. I am so happy today because this video is the start to a new series that I have wanted to do for a really long time. We are going to be talking about body shapes and, more importantly, determining what your body shape is. This is so important to learn because once you know what your body shape is, you will know how to dress it better. You will know the tips and solutions to flatter and accentuate or camouflage all the different parts of your body. This video will be the first in my series of body shape videos. I will be going more in depth into all of the other body shapes and how to dress and flatter those. So be on the lookout for those. You can even click that red subscribe button below so that you can be in the know. First, we are gonna talk about how to define your body shape. What are you? And we are going to use a couple measurements to figure it out. It's super simple. And I actually have two different techniques to help you. This is my sister, Sydney. She is my model today and she's gonna help me out. The first technique is really simple and it's best used when you kind of already have an idea what your body type is, but you just want to conform it. There are 4 key measurements that we need to take down, and that is at your shoulder, your bust, your natural waistline, and your hips. First, we are going to check out what her shoulder measurement is, and that is going to be the widest part that your shoulder comes out at, and you're gonna put a little mark on the wall. Okay, the next one, like I said, will be your bust. Once again, the widest part, and put the little point on the paper. The third measurement is the natural waistline. Now, your natural waistline is typically the narrowest part of your waist, or when you tilt side to side, it's kind of the part that just folds over a little bit. And then the last point to measure are the hips. Now keep in mind that your widest part of your hips may not necessarily be at the hip bone. So whichever part is the widest, make note. Okay, now she'll step away and we will be able to get a really good look at what her body shape is. Now this can show us a couple things. The first is that her shoulders and her hips are about the same width. And then her waist tucks in just a little bit. It's 2 inches or less. So there's not a whole lot of waist definition. I will teach you more about what this means as we get into the different body types. But first I want to show you the other technique in case you're unclear with this, or it's just, you may think you're between body types. This other one is way more exact. So let's dive into that. For the next technique, all you need is a handy dandy tape measure. I will link mine down below in case you are in need of one. You will be measuring the exact same 4 points that we had measured on the wall. Your shoulders, your bust, your waist, and your hips. For the shoulders, you wanna make sure that you are wrapping around the widest part. And you can tell it's the widest because if you go any lower, the tape measure is going to start to slip down. Make sure that the tape measure is not being held too tight or too loose. You just want it nice and exact. And then you would go ahead and write down your measurement. Next, we will do her bust. Raise your arms for me. If it is helpful to put a finger underneath to make sure that you aren't holding it too tightly, go ahead and do that. All right. And then for the waist, once again, it is the smallest, most narrow point. Okay, you will measure that, write it down. And then the last point is the hips. Once again, remember, this may not actually be at your hip bone, but just the widest part, so find that. Now that we have all of these 4 measurements, we can figure out what your body type is. Keep in mind, this is very important, that every body type is unique. Every body is different. So you may not necessarily fit in to one of these 5 basic body types. They're basic. You may even be a combination of 2. I am just giving you more information so that you can fit and flatter the features that you currently have. The first body shape I'm going to talk about is the triangle body shape. You may have also heard a pear body shape. They're the same thing, but I don't like to compare my body to fruit. So we're going to stick with triangle. Now this is actually the most common body type among women. If your hip measurement was wider than your shoulder or bust by about 5%, then you will be in that triangle body shape. Now, I don't want to get crazy mathematical on you. I was never great at math, so we're gonna keep it really simple. If your hips are 2 inches wider than your shoulders or 4 inches wider than your bust, then you are gonna fit into this triangle body shape. The next body shape is the inverted triangle. So it is just taking that triangle and flipping it over. This is going to be your most athletic looking silhouette because it is defined by broader shoulders, a broader back, and a larger chest. And then you are going to narrow in at the waistline. Once again, I'm not gonna get all mathematical on you, but if your shoulders are 2 or more inches wider than your hips, or your chest is 4 or more inches wider than your hips, then you are gonna fit into this inverted triangle body shape. The third body type is the oval, and this is where your shoulders, your waist, and your hips are fairly uniformed. Your shoulders and hips may actually even be a little bit more narrow, and you're gonna have a more undefined waistline. This may even be where you tend to carry more of your weight. If you are an oval shape and are looking to accentuate some features or camouflage some features, then be on the lookout for my video that will be just about oval shapes. The fourth body shape is the rectangle, and this is our more boxy body type, where your measurements are all about the same. You don't have a ton of definition in your waist, so that is what you're going to try to define as you are styling yourself. The last body shape is the hourglass, and this is going to be the opposite of the rectangle because you do have a very defined waistline. Your shoulders and hips have similar measurements and are clearly going to be the widest part of your body, whereas your waist is going to nip in at least 8 inches from that shoulder bust hip measurement. This is often the most coveted body shape that a lot of us try to emulate because to the eye, it is the most balanced as it does create that hourglass shape. Ultimately, when you look great, you feel great. And the key is just dressing your unique body shape. Be on the lookout for the 5 in-depth videos I'm going to make on each of the different body shapes. Thanks for listening, guys.